This video is going to be about being in a tough spot and trying to overcome something that you feel is holding you back and something that is keeping you from being happy and succeeding. And whether that be a low grade in any class, maybe your financial situation that you can't seem to get out of because you are constantly failing and constantly taking steps backwards when you're trying so hard to go forward. So what I really want this to be, the topic is how to push through any anguish and pain that you are going through. Your first step in overcoming anything is understanding what it is that you are feeling and where the root of your struggle is coming from. The root of any struggle is your internal thoughts. And there's no one else that can determine your own internal thoughts besides yourself. You only have control over one thing. That is your head. You only have control over that. So if you let outside sources, these outside factors affect what you are thinking, you're gonna have a rough time doing whatever it is that you're doing. If you're letting anything get in the way of you and your path. So you need to understand, where does this all stem from? What are the habits that you're doing right now? And what actions are you taking every single day that are keeping you stuck where you are? And you need to find the root cause of that. I can't sit here and tell you where that root cause is because we are all different. We're all different humans, wired differently, with different codes in our own brains. We all form our own addictions to whatever it is that we so desire. I do believe we can become addicted to anyone. You can become addicted to anything. Everyone can become addicted to something. We are all wired that way to find something we were passionate about, and we'll keep doing that thing until it blows up in our face, or you just keep on pushing. So understanding the root of that. After finding what it is causing you anguish, you need to work out a solution and write down that solution and match it to every single problem that you are facing. Whether you are sad from, being alone. Solution: go talk to someone at the gym. You're alone. How do you fix that? You go talk to someone. It is that simple, but it's not as simple to follow through. Maybe you are sad from too much work and you feel like you have an overload of work in a short period of time. Now your solution is to delegate small amounts of time to each thing that is overwhelming you. There's always light where there's dark. You just have to find it. This is a very hard step, and it's not the hardest step of overcoming a problem and overcoming failure. It's not the hardest. It sounds hard to find a solution, but I promise you, if you just write down a solution to whatever it is that is, causing you anguish, we can get to the next step, and you can keep pushing. The final step of that, after you make your solution and after you identify the root of whatever it is that you're struggling with, is trial and error. You have to drop your ego and you must fail. There is no overcoming anything without failure, because failure is the biggest learning lesson that there is. You hear about stories of people. I'm going to give just an example. There are people that, for example, let's talk about investments. There's people that at one time had thousands of Bitcoin, and this is just going to be a random example, have thousands of Bitcoin back when it was like $1. What did they do? They went and bought a pizza with it. Now, they didn't understand at the time, because there was no understanding at the time, what that thing would become. Bitcoin is now $100,000, and it would give that person who sold and bought a pizza would be a billionaire, millionaire, whatever it is. Now, you can either view that as a lesson in how you're going to move forward and do better, or you can sit there and think about all the things that you should have done and why it is that you're still stuck where you are because you didn't make the right decision back then. There was no way of truly knowing what to do back then because you had no experience of dealing with pain and suffering in that aspect. You only know what to do after you go through the pain. This is mentally actually the hardest step to achieving anything, is trial and error, because there will be, when you fail, it is like you're getting shot in the chest and you can't get up. So what I'm saying is there will be many times when you are ready to give up because you've never accounted for such a difficult task. You've probably never gone through pure struggle unless you are someone living in a war zone. Those people are living and not knowing if they're going to make it to the next day. But if you grew up comfortable with a comfortable, childhood or anything of that nature, you're not going to know how to, succeed in the things you want easily. It's impossible. You have to use the perspective and have to realize that someone is in a way worse situation. So you need to take advantage of the situation you are in and actually understand that you have one life. Why not make the best actions you can to have a better life? It is the harsh reality, but you have to fail upwards. Life is a math equation. Life is trying to figure out the steps to an equation that you are trying to solve. And the only way to solve an equation is by getting the wrong answer enough times to where it's actually ingrained into your head how to do it the next time. Now, the problem is you will find a solution to one equation and you will find out how to solve that equation, but you won't understand how to apply that to every other equation, just like in math. When you are doing math problems, you find the solution to a problem on your homework. You get to the quiz and you have no idea how to solve a problem that is kind of similar to what you just spent so much time learning, but you don't know how to apply that previous knowledge to that new problem. And what's the only way to learn? You must do bad on that quiz, because the next quiz will be very similar, but now you have the knowledge of how to apply and adapt to your circumstances. You just had to get it wrong enough times until you failed upwards. You have to fail upwards. And I think the reason for so many people being sad and not knowing what to do is because you don't have a goal. When you don't have a goal and you are living a comfortable life, you naturally search for problems. And when you have problems, you naturally search for comfort. It's a never-ending loop over and over and over again that you have no idea how to get through because you haven't gone through enough. So the only way to get through new things is by actually going through pain over and over and over again. Our ancestors had the goal of they just had to survive. That was their only worry. Were they going to get enough food and water for their kids, their loved ones? Were they going to get everything they needed? And then that carried on to us now. But what is the problem with where most of us are at now in America? A lot of us are comfortable now. We don't have a goal to survive because it's easy now. If you're in a good situation, it's easy. You just your parents will buy you food, they'll get you water, and you'll be fine. So you have to find a goal, a long-term goal, not a short-term, because short-term is just going to suffice for a small amount of time that you know you'll get through because it's short-term. Long-term goals require you to go through something, not see results. Do that over and over again 10 times, 10x, 12, 13, 14, whatever amount of times it takes to learn. You have to do that. You have to. We all do. You have to find a goal and you have to relentlessly work at it every single day, no matter what. And if you stop, then what's going to happen? You have a hard task in the future. You're done. You're literally you're screwed. You have no idea how to get through anything. So you have to find a goal and you have to work towards that goal every single day, knowing that you will not see results today, tomorrow, next week, and whatever it is until you achieve it. Just like how you would try and get a six-pack, for example. I'm just going to give an example from the gym. You go to the gym, you don't have abs, you don't have any really muscle definition right now. You keep going every single day. You're not going to see results that night, the next morning, the next night. But what you did is you won the second, you won the minute, you won the hour, you won the day, you won the week, you win the month. When you just keep on making those small wins, it leads to big wins. Like I just said, the second into the minute, it just grows larger and larger. So you got to find that goal and you got to keep working. And you have to apply what you previously learned to new tasks and keep on going. It is the only way to achieve anything. And I'm going through this process right now. I'm going through the trial and error. And I'm sitting here saying that, because it's not easy. Nothing good is easy, and it never will be. And the second you accept reality, and the second you just push, and the second you push away all negative thoughts, you push away all exterior negative things, you will be fine. We all will. We'll all be fine, and we'll all get through anything we ever wanted because you just kept failing up.